What's up, everyone? Thomas here with ForReel Movie News and Reviews, and we are jumping out of one festival right into another. I am very excited to be attending the Toronto International Film Festival for the very first time this year. I will be doing it virtually, like all the other film festivals we've done, but I'm sure it's still going to be a fantastic experience. And the only thing more exciting than attending TIFF virtually is attending with friends. And so I brought my other friend who will be covering the festival as well from Drink in the Movies. Taylor Baker is here, and we're going to talk a little bit about TIFF.
We are. It's fun to finally have the opportunity to attend, and there's some great debuts that I'm particularly looking forward to.
Yeah, we spent the last week kind of scouring the lineup and seeing what what movies are being offered, what things we have access to, and which ones we're looking forward to most. And we'll talk a little bit about some of those features here. So yeah, I'm excited about that. Before we get started, I want to send a very, very sincere thank you to TIFF and the team that is conducting the media inclusion program. I am so honored to be one of the 45 journalists who was selected to participate in this program this year. And so it's a program that really aims to amplify minority voices, and so they choose 45 journalists, and we get access to industry leaders, we get networking opportunities, and there's just a lot of really great benefits to help promote our career as journalists. And so this is such a wonderful opportunity, and I am so grateful to be a part of it. And I can't wait to connect and network with the other 44 participants and be a part of this program and see where the career goes from here. So thank you so much, TIFF and the Media Inclusion Initiative team. I really appreciate being a part of that, and I'm looking forward to capitalizing on this experience this year. So great. Let's talk about TIFF. So we're at the time of this recording, we're a little more than a week away from the festival. I mean, Taylor, how are you feeling about your schedule for this festival?
Nervous. Yeah, I mean, it's the same as going into Sundance and South by Southwest. It's how am I possibly going to watch all of these movies that I have the opportunity to watch and give each one a fair chance, and also sleep and write and edit and do all those other things that we do to cover film festivals. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but it's also exciting to know that, we're going to see a Jane Campion film, we're going to see a Celine Sciamma film, we're going to see Terrence Davies film. So there's a lot of positivity, but there's that little lurking bit of dread of how we're going to fit this all in.
Yeah, I think there's definitely no shame in admitting the dread that kind of comes with the grueling nature of covering film festivals, but there's a lot of fun in it, right? Like, I think that we've at least for me, I've definitely been able to connect with the community of film festival critics and film festival goers that makes this whole process just really fun and exciting. And like you said, there's a bunch of great content for us to enjoy during this festival. And yeah, I am equally as nervous about my schedule. It's going to be a very difficult thing to balance, but we've been doing this for a little bit now. At least for me, it's been a year of covering film festivals like this, and yeah, so I think I am like mentally prepared for it, and I'm trying to plan out. I'm trying to get as much done as I can ahead of time, and and have that kind of in the queue and scheduled so that I can spend time watching and reviewing things during the festival. So
that's exactly where I'm at. Try to work ahead as much as you can, so that everything that you didn't get a chance to get to ahead of the festival, you might be able to make time for during.
Yep, exactly. Okay, let's talk about festival films. We are obviously looking forward to a lot of films this festival at TIFF. And so I'm going to start with you. Let me know and tell everyone what your most anticipated film of TIFF is.
My most anticipated film is called Murina. It's a debut from a Croatian filmmaker whose name is Antoneta Alamat Kusajanovic. It's supposed to be kind of this sultry tale. It seems like it's going to be very tonally controlled. The synopsis is described as a teenage girl who decides to replace her controlling father with his wealthy foreign friend during a weekend trip to the Adriatic Sea. That just sounds very open. It's kind of got that Yorgos Lanthimos brooding feel to it. Films that come to mind are like Holiday, some of that South European film in the seaside. Sounds like a terrific place also just to have a film set. Comes in at a 92-minute runtime. That's my most anticipated, especially, debuts that are great are always fun to find.
Nice. I actually have not put that on my radar yet, so that's why we do this. The movie I'm looking forward to most at this point that I can watch is called Petite Maman.
Petite Maman.
Petite Maman. So actually, Taylor, you told me that this was playing here, and immediately I went to look it up because it's from the director of Portrait of a Lady on Fire. And if you know me, you know I love the movie Portrait of a Lady on Fire. So I'm excited to see a lot more of that style put in this film. The synopsis says, following a girl's journey to her mother's childhood home, French auteur, help me with this name, Celine Sciamma. Its latest is a tender tale of intergenerational connection. And that just sounds like right in line with what I really liked about Portrait of a Lady on Fire, just kind of this very sentimental kind of storytelling. And my expectation is that hopefully the technicals, like in Portrait of a Lady on Fire, will help endorse the, that tender nature of the film.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a return more to what she was known for mostly before Portrait, and films like Water Lilies and Tomboy, where it's really a much more restrained look at like a family experience, especially intergenerational, whereas Portrait was much more focused on, the sultry romance and the forbidden love.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's true. I mean, that's definitely a standout component to Portrait, but I just remember the technicals of that film being so captivating. I was just spellbound on that whole movie, and the romance, of course, was a big part of that. But the sound design, the the sceneries, the sets and set pieces, and so I'm hoping that a lot of that transfers into this one as well.
Yeah, she very much used the camera to kind of evoke the aspect or the idea or the feeling of being a paintbrush stroking the tail kind of into your eyes. And so, yeah, if she can build on that, that is one of the best films of the last decade. So
yeah, absolutely. For sure. What else is on your most anticipated list?
Number 2 is the non-liked film France from Bruno Dumont, starring Léa Seydoux. It's averaging a very middling score. It seems that he's been a little bit provocative in the past, and perhaps some of that provocativity is coming back through. Anyone that knows what I like knows that I love Gaspar Noé and other filmmakers that are in that kind of bravura, grotesque humanity style. And Bruno Dumont is actually a blind spot filmmaker for me. So this is a great time for me to not only get to finally see one of his films, but see a film that stars one of my favorite actresses in Léa Seydoux.
Nice. France was on my it piqued my interest, but I don't know a whole lot about the history of the director, and so that's crossing our fingers that is a part of what we can have access to, and see what all the commotion is about.
Yeah, they describe Bruno on Letterboxd and his synopsis or biography rather as a director of which films border somewhere between realistic drama and avant-garde. So he's definitely playing around in that more artistic space. So who knows? Maybe the negative reaction is just because he gets a little bit too artsy, which is something I tend to respond well to.
So here's the thing with me. If you've watched my videos and you've seen some of these preview curtain raiser videos, you know that I typically, what stands out to me when I'm looking for or looking through film festival lineups is the
Short
cast.
runtime.
Short runtime. That's one big thing.
Oh, we have a guest
Oh,
joining
hey, look at that.
the show.
Nice. Um, yeah, no, I think the cast is really what typically stands out to me when I'm looking at a lineup and seeing what I might want to see. I'm just more familiar with actors than I am directors, and I know Taylor, you're actually a lot more familiar with. I mean, you're familiar with actors, but you tend to be gravitate towards directors. I look for actors, and the one that has been on my radar this past year or two has been Riz Ahmed, and I was so excited to see that he has a film or he's in a film at TIFF, and it's called Encounter. It says a decorated Marine, Riz Ahmed, goes on a response mission to save two young sons from an inhuman threat. I like the premise, but really, Riz Ahmed is the thing that draws me to this film a lot. I think that his performances in Mogul Mowgli and Sound of Metal were just phenomenal, and I'm so excited to see where his career is going and what other roles he takes on. And so, him with this kind of premise, let's see how that turns out. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I think this is the sophomore follow-up to Michael Pierce's Beast as well, which I think came out maybe 2018 in America, maybe 2017 beforehand, but that had Jessie Buckley in it. That was kind of before she had her rise to stardom here in the last few years. And I think it also had Johnny Flynn. So he's definitely got an eye for putting the performers in front of the camera and letting them work. I do remember Beast suffered a little bit from communicating its deeper ideas throughout the runtime. So it'll be interesting to see if he develops on that. It's always interesting to keep an eye on how filmmakers continue to build.
Yeah. What else? Tell me another one that's on your top most anticipated.
Well, my number 3 was Petite Maman, but you took it, so I will happily skip on to a different selection. And I will go ahead and spotlight compartment number 6, which is actually behind The Power of the Dog, but I'd rather give some love to compartment number 6. It did win a prize at Cannes alongside Oscar Farhadi's A Hero. It took home the Grand Prix, so it shared it. That's the second prize. And that's, just another unique film that's from, not the English language that we normally wouldn't have a chance to see here on the continental, United States. But luckily, Toronto is bringing it to us. It's got a just under 2-hour runtime, and it is the story of a Finnish student traveling to from Moscow to Murmansk to see ancient rock paintings. And that's kind of the opaque, idea. And then it starts describing itself as gloomy and unsociable. So very into it. Very hopeful that it's a great moody piece, since it did get that award at Cannes.
Moody pieces. Yes, there's another one that we're gonna that we'll probably mention at some point in this that's very moody, that both of us have commented on. So yep, that also seems very much up your alley. So very, very cool. I am going to spotlight a horror film. I am very excited to see Dashcam. It's a Rob Savage film. Savage did Host, which blew me away. Host had a really short runtime too, wasn't it? Like 60 minutes or something like that. Yeah,
yep. I believe it was exactly 60.
Yeah, very concise, but it was Host stood out for many reasons besides its runtime, one of which of course being that it was pandemic themed, and it actually took the current situation of the pandemic at that time and turned it into a horror movie, and did it, in my opinion, very successfully in that 60 minutes that it had. Wasn't too long, wasn't too short, just did screen life so well. So I'm very excited to see what Dashcam is going to be like.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. This is going to sound like sacrilege to you, but I did not ever get to host last
Oh,
year.
how dare
So
you?
it's a complete blind spot for me. And I do like to treat these festivals kind of like going to the ice cream shop and just getting a taster spoon for a bunch of different filmmakers and just trying a bunch of things that I haven't had the time to or haven't prioritized or whatever. So I'm looking forward to squeezing that one in, and maybe it'll convince me to spend 60 minutes with host.
Well, this one is a little bit longer, 77 minutes. So you have an extra
Oh,
17
you
minutes.
lost me at over 60.
Over 60. That's funny. Let's just briefly talk about some other ones that are on our radar. We went into detail about our most anticipated, but what else is kind of what are some honorable mentions? What are some things that are also standing out to you that you want to talk about briefly?
So this is the end of this tier. I would say that everything I've talked about is kind of in the same tier. I didn't go deep into The Power of the Dog, but I think everyone's probably anticipating Benedict Cumberbatch, Jane Campion film. The film that I want to talk about is Earwig from writer-director Lucille. Now, I'm going to butcher this. Hadzalahalovich. Maybe that's it. She's a French writer-director, blind spot filmmaker for me. I think this is either her third or fourth film. And she's known for previously collaborating with one of my favorite filmmakers, Gaspar Noé, in the late 90s. I think 1998, she edited I Stand Alone, and then she worked on the short film as editor Carne. And this is a film about a girl that has ice cube teeth, and she has to move, and she's supposedly never left the apartment really before, but she has to be prepared to leave. It comes in at just under 2 hours, and it's like exactly the wonky, weird, amazing sounding thing that I'm looking for at festivals. So this is definitely like this is top tier what I'm going after at the festival for me. I would be remiss if I didn't mention something that wasn't a feature fiction film. So let me talk about one documentary that piqued my interest, and that's The Devil's Drivers.
Yes.
It's not very well explained. In the synopses that I've been able to find on different places, a lot of them are comparative. I think this single sentence boils down to what interested me the most. The Devil's Drivers has the intensity of a 1970s chase film as it follows Palestinian smugglers on high-speed trips to help workers cross the border.
Mm-hmm.
That just sounds like the exact type of documentary that I'm going to be into. And, the title itself is obviously appealing.
I do want to throw some quick shout outs to some Sundance favorites that will be at TIFF, one of which is Jockey. It's a very intimate and tender movie about horse racers and this tough relationship between the son and his dad. And so I like that one a lot. It has a lot of style and a lot of really beautiful cinematography, and a touching story. So
Absolutely.
So
got Clifton Collins Jr.
Yes.
as the star, who looks like a jockey himself. And then it's also a directorial debut. I believe we watched that at Sundance earlier this year.
At this point, my favorite film of the year is Flea, and I am very much excited to get the chance to see it again here at TIFF. Flea is the story of an Afghan refugee who also, as a teenager, fleeing Afghanistan and also trying to come to terms with his sexuality in this very hostile and not ideal environment of being a refugee. So it's an animated documentary, which is a crazy concept. Where the whole thing is animated, and it's beautifully animated. And the animation is mainly to hide identities, but just is a very stylistic way to communicate the story. And the way that it's told is so compelling. I was captivated this entire movie. I love the style. I loved how the topic is addressed and how genuine the whole thing feels. Obviously it's this person telling his story, but it just comes off so emotional and so intimate. So,
and you forgot to say your favorite thing about it, which is that it's only 83 minutes.
And it is only 83 minutes. I mean, this is one where, yeah, it's only 83 minutes, but it felt longer, and that was okay. Like I just enjoyed every minute of it, and even at 83 minutes, it's short, but it's satisfying. Very, very satisfying film.
Absolutely. Well, while we're recommending things, I can confidently recommend both Silent Land from Aga Wajinska, which is a directorial debut about a Polish couple going on vacation, and then things subsequently turning into kind of a Yorgos Lanthimos experience, and also Terrence Davies' Benediction. I highly recommend those films, and I think we would both echo recommending a film called Quickening.
Yes, that was one that I was going to get to. I did have a chance to screen it. Well, we both had a chance to screen it before the festival, and we can't talk a whole lot about it, but we recommend it.
That is correct.
That is correct.
I will use the word sultry, I guess, to describe it. And otherwise, you'll have to watch it or tune in during the wrap-up video when we talk about it more in length.
We will definitely be talking about Quickening.
It's got some juice to it, and the most important thing, it's got that short run time at 88 minutes.
Yes. Yep. So great. Well, Taylor, how many movies do you think you're going to get in at this festival? What is your target number?
My target is probably 40, but if I can beat whatever absurd number I did at Sundance, that would be awesome. I don't think that's going to happen. Just because I don't think I could do that again. But
I mean, technically, you have more days this time, so the festival goes a little bit longer this time.
Might have more days, have more of a head start. But there's a lot of films that we are limited from. So, there will be a certain tier where I just hit movies that I don't actually want to watch, which didn't happen at Sundance. So we'll see. We will see. These like I mentioned, all these foreign language films, they're going to exhaust the retina, so we will see how much viewing exactly I can get in.
Right. Yep.
How about you? What's your target?
I'm going to set a stretch goal of however many you do, and just know that I'm not going to hit that.
Well, I know that.
You're insane. I tell friends, oh yeah, in a week I watched 20 movies, and they're like, oh my God, that's a lot. And then Taylor comes in on Sundance like, oh, I watched 50 something. What?
Too many. I watched too many.
Yeah. So, 20 is a very safe number. I'm pretty sure I'll get to 20. 30 would be like stellar. If I do more than 30, then I was I doing anything else? I don't know. So
did I eat? Did I go outside?
Did I sleep at all? Yeah.
Well, sleep, we could sacrifice sleep, but the going outside. That's everybody needs to get a little bit of fresh air during these festivals, I think.
Yes,
it's hard to replicate the walk between theaters that you actually experience at the physical festival.
Right. I guess that's a good point. Even though, because at a physical festival, you are going from theater to theater. I've had plenty of times where I had to fit 5 or 6 movies into a day, and they're all over Vancouver, or they're all over
you're
Seattle.
Getting your back stretching. You're kind of, you're limping around, trying to loosen things up before you go sit down for a couple more hours. And it's easy to just forget to get up during these virtual ones, but it
absolutely is.
These are the challenges we're willing to make.
I know, right? Yes. I mean, if someone's going to do it, I suppose it'll be us.
Yes.
Very cool. Well, Taylor, to find all of this coverage that you and your team are going to publish, how do people find that online?
Just go to drinkingthemovies.com. On that splash page, there will be a little collection of letters that spell the word festival. You click that, it's going to have all the festival stuff in the world that you can shake your stick at, or you could just follow us on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook and get everything that we're putting out there as well.
Yes. And with For Real Movie News and Reviews, I actually spent this week reorganizing my navigation page. So there is a very, thank you, there's a very convenient link in the menu that says film festivals. You can drop that down, and the list of film festivals that we've covered over the past year or so is there, and TIFF will be one of them. And so you can find all of our TIFF coverage there at moviesforreal.net. Of course, follow For Real on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Movies for Real. And then, of course, follow me personally, Thomas. You can find me at Being TSJ on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm pretty sure all that will be on the website too. So that's a lot to remember. Just moviesforreal.net. So cool.
Or reference the links in the description,
yes.
right?
Or
I will caveat
bio,
that
yes.
with I will give you my link and you can give me your link, and we can just put our TIFF lists and those links within the video, and then people can reference that in case they missed something or they want to know about all the stuff that we didn't talk about, since our lists are a lot bigger than what we talked about today.
This is true, and that's a fantastic idea. A lot of my great ideas, I will very rarely admit, come from you.
Take full credit.
Take full credit. Take some credit. I have to implement them, and that takes so much time. But for TIFF and all the other festivals we cover, it is worth it. I want to make sure that our site is functional and usable, and that everyone loves what we do on at For Real. So perfect.
Absolutely.
Well, Taylor, thank you so much for joining me here again. I'm looking forward to the wrap up.
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I will. I'll see you talking about Canada later next month, right before we talk about another Canadian film festival. I think the week after that with VIFF. So we're going to be talking about Canada a lot the next coming month.
A lot. Yes, it is interesting. I think the first half of the year is kind of America's film festival time, and then the second half is Canada. So
well, it's like that mid-summer European film festival, and now we're breaking to Canada.
Yeah. So, and still details still need to be finalized with VIFF, but I am anticipating attending that in person. So
I am anticipating a free ride.
You have to drive to me first. Seattle to Bellingham.
That's a deal. That's so easy. I know where Vancouver. I'm parking my car. I leave it there.
Yeah,
I've got my passport ID card or whatever, and my passport. It'll be no problem.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll hit up Beaumont for a place to stay. Either Beaumont or Matt. We can coordinate with them. So cool. All right. Well, Taylor, thank you for joining me on this. We will have a wrap-up video. We'll have a wrap-up video at the end of the festival. And for everyone out there watching, until next time, keep it for real.